going to help you on something that I can sense.
Okay.
You will be in a totally different place if you leave your ideology at the door.
Okay.
There's unlimited people that are willing to work hard in Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
But if you decided that they're all entitled or nobody wants to be a cook, then you're dead because you're spending energy on that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how you and I came up. It was a different world. You and I would have not come up this way if we had this world. And guess what?
Yeah.
Our great-grandparents came up harder than us.
Of course.
So I don't want to hear fucking 2023 bosses crying about, well, 20 years ago we had it. It's over. Charge more, change it up, pay your cooks more, which then pass on the cost to me. Let me pay 25 cents more for an orange juice and let me spend an extra $2 on steak. Like, it's just real life. Pass on the cost to the fucking consumer.
Yeah.
Everybody in New York wanted the Uber drivers to get, more money. Cool. Let me just tell you what's happening. All the Uber deliveries are way more expensive for food.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
It's not like it's going to I love when people are like, yeah, stick it to the business. It's better. Cool. As a consumer, let me tell you what happened. You're going to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think you've got a lot of moves, brother. But I think the number one move you need to start with is don't give a fuck. It is what it is. How many cooks do you need? Real talk.
No, I need probably 11.
Good. I promise. Where do you live?
Miami, Florida.
I promise on my fucking everything that you can find 11 cooks. You just need to go ham with content, Indeed, LinkedIn. You just need to hustle.
Yeah, it's just different, I mean, you hire. I'm sure you hire. It's just the mindset is so different that it's
you're emotional. You're emotional. It's different. 8 out of 10. Okay. Somebody just immigrated to Miami just now, just this second, who will fucking rip their arm off to be a cook for you.
I agree with that.
Okay, so instead of crying, dwelling, spending your energy being like, fuck, like every minute that you spend talking to your buddy or another guy or gal who owns a restaurant, be like, fucking shit. Every second could be a second of you making content on the internet or hanging up signs in lower income areas to pull you on your work ethic needs to up.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right? I love how you took that. Like, that's on us.
What is your view of the labor force mentality post-COVID? That's the first part.
Well, Joaquin, I think most people's work ethic has been altered by the fact that we work at home at a high percentage, which creates a lot of opportunity to hide if one wants to. The government sent checks to everybody, so people got used to, wait a minute, like, I can get paid to stay at home. You have an entire generation of Gen X, millennials and Z who grew up in a different era and different eras, so they have different mindsets. And then within generations, you have very different people, so you can't generalize. But overall, I think that we haven't flushed out the economic pain of printing so much money during COVID. And so we're in this weird place where half the workforce is entitled and half the workforce realizes that they have an opportunity to gain market share by working hard. And it's a real mix, and everyone's situation is different. But if I'm talking net workforce, it's a little tricky right now, and we're going to feel pain from that because businesses are not as efficient. There's plenty of people that work their ass off from home, but there's enough that don't, that the efficiencies of businesses and what they're paying for are down. And so we're in an interesting spot. Like we're in a shit hits the fan moment in 24, 25, 26, where we're going to have to reset. And so, I think it's a wild mix,
Yeah, I do agree. My businesses aren't really work from home type. I'm in the hospitality industry. Yep. So for me, I need bodies. I need cooks, I need servers, I need baristas.
Yeah. And as you know, not only has that mentality shifted, a lot of these cooks and servers now know how to make more money online. So it's not just the missteps of the governments around the world of printing more money during COVID and not letting people live within their means, because all those think about the reason we're having all this fluctuation is we sent all this money to people and they went out and bought Dom Perignon and
right.
and, Chanel, not food and electricity. And so, but also let's not be confused. in the hospitality business, there's a lot of people that have figured out how to make more money online, flipping stuff on eBay or becoming influencers and creators that make them more than 20 bucks an hour, 15 bucks an hour, 12 bucks an hour, 25 bucks an hour. And so, you know, as they have more options, they're going to choose those options. And so this is the macro trend.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I you know, I ask always, you know, in the interview, you know, tell me a little about yourself, and the majority of the, you know, the barista age demographic, they want to be influencers and they want to be YouTubers, and you know, and so it's super hard for restaurants.
There's a way for you to flip it though. Why don't you start hiring and put a help wanted sign that says help wanted influencer creator / barista? Then people come in and they're like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, listen, while you're at the stand, you know, the hostess, while you're working your 9 to 5, you can use my restaurant as your content studio. You know, most employers are like, get off your fucking phone. You could flip it and be like, hey, you've got this whole restaurant as your production facility. You're gonna get paid. And as long as you're taking care of my customers and doing what I need to do operational, every time there's downtime, make fucking content. Maybe tag the location. Go ahead.
That's the balance, is like, I think we've lost a lot of work ethic. I agree with that, because we do that already.
That's an ideology. This is shit I talked to my dad about with Wine Library. Yeah. That's an ideology. Everything I said is true, but I'm not emotional about it. I don't need people to work hard. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what my feelings are about how much money we gave people, or why they have better options, or that we've lost work ethic, or Gen Z is into, I don't give a fuck. I'm a fucking businessman. So what I'm gonna deal with is the reality of the situation. And if I have to change the way I operate my fucking restaurant, my dad's liquor store, I'm opening a restaurant in a month in New York City with VCR group called Little Maven in Midtown. And a couple months later, we're opening up the Fly Fish Club. I've got tons of restaurants in my world coming, right? And what I'm telling my partners who are operating is leave your old ideologies at the fucking desk, because it's a new world. And if it's also practical. You know this, brother. I don't want the hostess or host, or I don't want the barista, or I don't want the waiter to be making content while you are sitting there frustrated. But when there's downtime, like if we have a lull, if there's a mid-afternoon lull, it's better that they're making content for you.
I agree with that.
Hope that they go viral and quit, because then you can use them as an example for the next person. I would have them in the fucking, I would be like at Sally Pants 49, be like Barista Bitch 16, be like Barista Boy 9. I would put them in my fucking job description to get people excited that they found a boss and an environment to make content that allows them to go live their dream. Here's the part that I have that is I've figured out is a magic. No expectation of others. I do great by him. I do great by him. I do great by him. I eat his shit. I do great. I do great. I do great. Then he goes, does something good happens. He can help me, and he doesn't. For some weird reason, I don't give a fuck. And so many people get crippled. So many people do very little and expect. Like, do you know most people give with expectation?
Yes.
The fuck am I getting out of this?
Nothing. Thank you for doing this.
I mean, this is your first fucking show. 9 people are gonna watch.
That's right.
But now,
maybe less.
You're gonna have, do you know what your guests are gonna look like now? You're gonna go and fucking say, Gary Vaynerchuk was my first fucking guest. You're gonna get 10 times the quality guests you would have gotten. You're gonna get guest number 4 of this show is the quality of the guest that would have been guest 147 just by me allocating these 15 minutes.
And that's, again, an example of giving without expecting in return.
That's right. And if you go on to become Larry King, and I need to promote some shit in 21 years.
Well, you know who has you.
Or not, and this is the key. That'd be great, and I hope so, and surely I think about that. But if you said no through your booker, I would never say, I would say to the Tyler, I would say to my admin, I would say, that's some shit. I'd be like, fucking motherfucker, like, you know? But I would never be, that would be, the extent of it would be like, that fucking kid would be nowhere if I didn't do the first fucking, which I wouldn't believe, by the way, because if somebody gets somewhere, you might have been part of their path, but I don't, you know? Maybe I accelerated it, but we all accelerate each other. Maybe I wouldn't be where I was if Justin didn't make a video. Like, there's a million what ifs. Here's what I would say. For some reason, after about a minute of being like, fuck that kid, I hope his show gets canceled, you know, like competitive shit, I'd be like,
maybe he's in a bad place, maybe he's going through a divorce, maybe he forgot, maybe he thinks about it differently than I did. I have empathy, man. Empathy is a powerful drug.